a Pete Primeau fan.
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like,
what an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around. And I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode 231. And boy, we have a great one for you today. How to have your best 4th of July ever. And if that doesn't interest you for some reason, we are live here with Brent Batterman, who is the VP of Business Development and Education for Bedhead Marketing. And you can ask him any question that you want live. Let's just pay the bills really quickly first. If you haven't bought my book, Sell a Million, what are you waiting for? 101 tips on how to sell more. It's really a marketing book. The best compliment I ever got on this book was from my dear friend, Doug Stewart. He said, take the word furniture or mattress out of it. It's just a great marketing book. And if you want a great selling book, don't mind if I plug this a little bit. Guys, Brent Batterman, who's here right now, wrote 2 chapters in this book. Do I need to say any more? If that's not enough, 2 chapters were written by Chris Dehaney, Justin Trumbo, Jeff Chinakovo, Randy Thompson, Keith Cassenguy, Mel Opp, Steve Carnes, Scott Vaughn, and Mark Lingenberg all wrote chapters in this book. And I want to tell you a little something about this book. It is not handcuffs. It's not handcuffs. It doesn't prescribe a selling system, though the bonus chapters are excellent. And all kinds of sales systems are presented for you. And some real intimate details of some of the best pound for pound stores in the industry went into great detail on their systems. So if you want systems, they're in the back of the book in the bonus section. But what you're going to find is tips, techniques, strategy, and mindset to help you sell more mattresses, like within 5 to 10 minutes, immediately. It's not like a professor sitting up there and now you say good morning this way and now you go, and it's not that way, guys. It is information to add to whatever system you're using. So it's going to help you no matter what selling system you use. So grab it. I think it's $20 or less than $20 on Amazon. Without a further ado, let me say thank you to Steve and Greg for sponsoring the show at the Mattress Industry Network Group. If you want to learn how to build, market, sell, and succeed, this is the place. It's a free Facebook group. I believe over 2,400 strong. Great place to network. Great place to get more information. You don't have to be alone in your business, and everybody's in here. So if you're a store owner, there's lots of store owners from all over the country in here. If you want to meet VPs of sales, sales reps, owners of manufacturers, they're in here too. So my handy dandy producer was moving me along. Scan me. That'll take you directly to the Mattress Industry Network group. And I get in there a few times a week. So thank you, Chris, for keeping me on track. Brent, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you so much, Pete. It's great to be back on the show. Huge fan. It's such an honor. Thank you for having me back. I love it.
Well, I love having you on because you're amazing, dude. I mean, not only did you it's not like you punched a time card for 20 years at Mattress Firm. It's like you attacked. Like after 12 years, you were an executive, you were a national sales manager, and then several executive positions after that. I mean, your career, I mean, you started like we all start, selling belly to belly. And I love it. And I love what you learned as a salesperson. I love what you learned as a sales manager, and then finally as an executive. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And what is near and dear to your heart right now? What should we, now obviously there's a lot of things that would go into marketing a great event like this, and we'll get into some of that, but what would we like to say to our dealers? They've got a sale planned. What should they be doing with their staff? What should they be doing to make sure that everybody's ready to go on the big day?
Pete, there's so much to unpack there. And, I first, what's dear to my heart? Well, first of all, thank you for those kind words. And one way I'd like to start this show off, and I'm going to take a step back a little bit, is I've been blessed. I've gotten a chance to be in this industry for 22 years. I was with a company for 21 years plus, kind of my internship. And I've got a chance to do a lot of great things. And the only reason I was able to achieve what I did is because I've had good coaches, great mentors, and so many people to help me along the way. And I love the opportunity to be on your show, because what I'm going to do is everything that I was taught, learned in the next hour, I'm going to give to the audience. Yesterday I spent like 7 hours. I'm not exaggerating. I told my wife at like 8:00, come out and take a picture. She's like, no. I'm like, take a picture. I want to show Pete I'm practicing. She's like, you're fine. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, don't bother this amazing man on a Sunday. Let him pee. Let him be. And anyway, I'm excited because that is what today's about. We got 1 hour, and I'm going to give as much information that people have given me to help me in my career. And we can go any direction we want to go. We can talk about the sales floor. We can talk about maximizing our sales weekend. We can talk about what do we have to do between now and I'm talking this very minute right now, and what we can do all the way up to Thursday morning to get ready, last minute prep. I have some ideas and some good thoughts that I think we can help the sales associate connect with the customers, make a little bit more money, make a sale, make a friend. And also with trainers, district managers, VPs, visiting store. I have some things that I got a chance to do during my store visits that worked, and I'd love to share those. So with that, Pete, you tell me where we want to go.
So this is where we're going right now. We're unpacking. So listen, if you only had 10 minutes to watch the Pete Primeau show, what you just saw from Brent, completely unsolicited, show that to your salespeople. He practiced for 7 hours before. Are they going to practice for 7 hours before they step into the store to sell? It's a good question. I'll tell you. You take this anywhere so you want.
I'm still a rookie. Like I listened to both of our shows. I listened to my other podcast. I wanted to make sure I didn't duplicate, but what stood out to me, and I want to reiterate. And plus, I have to bring my A game when I'm on with you. I mean, everyone knows that. So it's I don't want to let you down, my friend.
You're not going to let me down. Justin Trumbo says, who, by the way, is an industry legend himself. Brent is an industry legend. So congratulations on being a legend. This is a don't miss. Yeah. RJ, you're 100% right. And Tim McDonald says, today's going to be killer. I'm pumped. It is. It's all ready. Dan White, where is your 4th of July decor, Pete? Oh, my former teammate from Protect the Bed. Only a former teammate can bust your you-know-whats like that. I don't have any, but I got some books. You want some books? Thanks, guys, for being here. I'm super pumped. Brent, take it away, brother. And every now and again, I'm just going to probably stop you because it's some of these things that you say are so important. What you just laid down was so important. Like, what are we putting into this? Like, what are you putting into the 4th of July? Forget the 4th of July. What are you putting into your business every day? Do you even have a 5-minute conversation with your salespeople before you let them on the floor?
You practice like you play like you practice. My coach would say that all the time. You practice like you play. And at the time, you're like, when in high school and college, going through sports, I was like, every time they said that, I'd be like, I think I'd roll my eyes, but it's so true. And even today, talk about practicing, for me, one of my favorite activities that I did, it's so cheap, it's so inexpensive. I talk about this all the time, is go to the back room and grab and make a tape ball, because if it drops or it hits the window, it won't break anything. A tape ball. And what I would do is the person I'm working with, we would find different topics that we wanted to focus on. It was kind of like our warm-up, our pregame, if you will. And I'm a big fan of pregame, because imagine if you're playing sports and you're a kicker and the game is on the line. I think I read this stat recently that 15%, we talked about this on our last show, Pete, 15% of college games come down to the last few minutes with only less than 3 points. And could you imagine a kicker knowing that stat, that 15% of games are won or lost by 3 points or less, and it comes down to the fourth quarter for them kicking the extra field goal? Imagine if they didn't warm up or practice. They were just sitting in the stands. It's time to kick the field goal to win the game, and they just show up. Like, it makes no sense. So if we take that same mindset when it comes to our fourth biggest holiday of the year, I'm telling you, take the time, practice beforehand. And I was talking about that tape ball. If you and I are in the same store, Pete, like, it would probably be one of my favorite hours. I'd call it that, like from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock out of that tape ball. And I would throw it. As I throw the tape ball and you're going to catch it, I throw you an objection, or I talk about a mattress or a feature, and you'd have to sell me that feature benefit, overcome that objection, or talk about that mattress in 30 seconds or less. And then you throw it back to me, and we would just go back and forth, and I would steal all of your good ideas because I'd want to use them with my next customer. One of the best ways to warm up. If I was a sales rep for a great manufacturer, like there's so many in our industry, I would do that every time I go to the store. I'd be like, here's my product, back and forth, sell the sale, talk about this feature, sell me a power base. It's just a warm up. We know the material, but having that, don't practice on your paycheck. Do not wait to have your first up or your first conversation about a mattress with an actual customer. If we just did that, I promise you, it'll be worth it. Nobody starts out their day and be like, I'm just too warmed up. I'm practiced. I'm ready for a customer. No one ever says that. No one regrets it.
Don't practice on your paycheck. That has to go down as one of the greatest quotes in this business. Dan White says probably the hardest part of sales, staying on during downtime and always preparing. Preparation is everything. 100%. Retail sales pros have one of the most difficult jobs in the world, because they have to be on when that customer comes in. And they might have been off for the last 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. Now they have to be on, and it is an art form unto itself.
It is. I think there's a couple ways that you can minimize it. I made a reference of the field goal kicker. We can also think of the relief pitcher in baseball. Very similar. Like they're not needed until the 9th inning when the game is on the line. I believe, if I was a store owner, a manager in the industry right now, I would have different scenarios that I would send out to my team, and I would have them, if they're by themselves, call other stores. Doesn't have to be for 8 hours or 7 hours. Can it be for 30 minutes? Imagine if we did 30 minutes of practice every day going up to the 4th of July, how much more prepared we'd be. And it builds confidence. There's probably nothing new potentially that you may learn. I believe there will be, but just going through that practice, that warm up, and in the afternoon, if it's a little bit quiet and you're getting a little bit tired, it happens. Call a store, do a little role play, practice. Keeps you sharp.
Yeah, the best stores that I have ever called on, almost always, I would know who they were on the phone with, because I knew who was connected to who in the chain of stores. And they were always almost always on the phone with someone else, and they were getting ready. Dan White has, in the 2004 Olympics, the 200-meter freestyle swim had a margin of victory of 0.43 seconds. From 2000 to 2006, the average difference in PGA victories was 1.71 strokes. Don't practice with your paycheck. Great quote, Brent. Absolutely great quote.
You know, it's interesting. I didn't even think about mentioning this story, but recently, I won't say where, won't say what market, won't say what company, but there was an individual, top writer. And I had a chance to go visit that store, and they were with a customer, and I was like, very patient, take care of your customer, take care of your customer. They're more important than me, I promise you. But what they said was very interesting to me. They go, absolutely, I'm going to go take care of my customer. And they said, but I want to talk to you about this product because I want to learn this, how to sell this mattress and add it to my presentation that I already have. Like, they wanted to learn. They did not want me to leave the store until they practiced it and heard more about the mattress so they could use that to take care of more customers. Like, that attitude, that mindset is why they're the top writer. I guarantee he's better than me on the sales floor, but he's like, I want to know what he knows so I can add it to my presentation. And I believe that mindset, and hopefully I do that all the time, is constantly trying to learn more and more, because you never stay level. You're either getting better or you're decreasing that skill set. And we're in a skill sets like playing guitar, either gets better or it diminishes. Unfortunately, like, you just never stay the same if you don't practice. I wish that was the case.
100%. We never stay the same. Either we're getting better or worse. I didn't make the rules, so don't get mad at me for saying the truth.
100%. 100%. You know, the kind of going along with that, you know, when you talk about practicing, a couple things that I would really dial into is find the 3 things that are on your sales floor that are going very well. I believe practicing selling your power base is the number one thing that you should be practicing. That would be one thing I would absolutely present this week. 2, team selling, I think, is a conversation you should have and practice, and what that looks like. If Pete, you and I are in the same store, I would welcome every customer. I'd be like, sell the sale. Welcome to our store, Pete's Mattress Store. We had the best sale of the year. I would reconfirm why they came to my store. They came, the timing is right. And I would mention this sale by the name. A sale without a name is not a sale. 4th of July. And during every holiday, I think 90% of everyone does a very good job. I think when it's not the holiday, they probably don't as much, but it's the 4th biggest holiday. We have the energy. We have the excitement. Call a sale by its name, because when you do that, it creates urgency. It has a beginning and an end. The other thing that I would do is I would tell them, I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to take care of you. Because if you think about it, the sale is won or lost in the first 2 minutes. That's a fact, first couple moments. So you have to make that first good impression. And if your store is busy, we're going to talk about that in a moment. But practice selling the sale, make that first great impression. How do you do that? Make a friend before you try to make a sale. Smile, welcome them, say hello, name exchange, see how they're doing. Again, reconfirm they're there and tell them, I'm going to personally take care of you. And this is what I say. I believe this 100%. Sold a mattress last weekend to my neighbor, and I said it without even thinking about it, because I meant it. I was like, I love what I do. I love selling mattresses. They're like, Brent, I'm sorry you're coming in after the work day after 5 o'clock. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is like my favorite thing to do. And I did a full presentation. They were buying a twin mattress. They bought a twin extra long adjustable after I left. But, you know, I told them, I love what I do. I'm glad you're here. If you have questions, I want you to ask them. That's my job, is to take care of you and to make sure you feel comfortable with your purchase and you understand what these new mattresses can do for you. The other thing that I would mention, because the store is going to be busy, it's going to happen. When times are tough, customers wait till major holidays. That's why right now traffic's probably a little bit lighter, but during the holiday, that traffic spikes. So you know your store is going to be busy. So if I'm with Pete, working the same store, I'd be like, me and Pete, he's over here. We're here to take care of you, because you start getting 5, 6 sets of customers, you're going to have to team sell. I've always believed when I'm in that store, those 4 walls, it's a team sport. I don't care how much Pete can have all the credit. All I want to do is take care of customers. And when I have that mindset, I'm going to take care of as many people as I possibly can, give them great customer service, welcome them to my store, let them know that I'm here to take care of them, help Pete out however I can. At the end of the day, I will win because I'm helping everybody else.
That is so good. And when I look back at my retail career, where I had the most fun, made the most money, that's how we proceeded. And I have to tell you something. Jordan,
I got goosebumps, Pete. I mean, I'm telling you, like,
yeah, I know.
Keep going, bud.
I can feel it, brother. Jordan Vaughn, that owns Happy Z's in Paducah, Kentucky, and Benton, Kentucky. They team sell. They team sell better than anybody I've ever seen. They will do bumps. They will do TOs. They don't care. They just want to help the customer win. And the only way the customer wins is by getting the right system for them that's going to help them wake up happy and pain-free. And they're not leaving it up to chance. They're making sure it happens in their store. They're not going to let that customer go out because of their ego, because this is mine, and I'm not gonna split, the sale with somebody else. There's none of that goes on there. As a matter of fact, I saw the craziest thing on Friday, the Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving. One salesperson has like some ridiculous amount up. 20,000, maybe more than 20,000. Ask the other salesperson, what do you got up? And they only had like 6 or 8. So it was a horrible day for them.
Yeah, horrible day for that. Right?
Can you imagine this? This is like an alternate universe.
Yeah.
And he said, it's my up. Go ahead, take it. And the guy's like, okay, thanks. And that's like what you've got going on in that store. When you have people that care more about the customer and more about their teammates than they care about themselves, that's where the magic happens, right there.
100%.
That place.
And the customer sense that. I don't know what it is, but the atmosphere, you can feel it when you walk in the store, when 2 people are on the same page, 3 or 4, how many are in the store, you can feel that energy and the customer wants to purchase there. I believe that 100%. I don't know how and why, and they can feel that, but they walk in, you're having a great day, you're excited, you're helping each other. They're like, there's something special going here, and I want to do business in this store.
100%. Hey, I just want to circle back on one thing. 3 things to practice. One was adjustable beds. Other was team sales. What's the third thing?
The third thing is I'm going to always say this when it comes to this is financing. I would get really good at bundling and selling financing because there's stats and data out there that shows that one of the most important things, especially during a major holiday, customers look for, it's more important than necessarily the brands in the store, is financing. So they're coming in looking for even affordable monthly payments. And I would find your 2, 3, 4 of your most popular mattresses, and I would bundle it up with power base, pillows, mattress cover, delivery, and that mattress, and I would get that monthly payment, and I would just know them, because then if they go like a step above or step below, you kind of know what that monthly payment is. And it's something like this is a great time to buy this mattress. Matter of fact, you can buy the whole sleep system right now. Depends if you want to use your money or my money. If you use your money, it's this. If you use mine, it's only $125 a month, and you get everything here: the pillows, the mattress cover, the power base, the thing that goes up and down, the delivery, and I can get this out as soon as tomorrow. I would get really good at those.
Dan White. Dan, you drank some coffee too today. That's great. I'm glad you're here. If you get time and it makes sense in your agenda, I'm genuinely curious what experience has shown you around how, when to suggest bringing up, presenting payment plans. It's in the book, but he's going to do it live. Yes, I work for a payment solution, but the topic is enormous upside for RSAs and retailers. And before I let Brent answer that, I just have to say something. The last chapter that Brent wrote in the book about selling systems brilliantly ties in financing. And let me tell you the litmus test for me. So I think, okay, he just said financing and bundling is really important. So who is my best customer? Best customer is Happy Z's by far. Probably the best pound for pound mattress retailer in the country. Less than 25,000 in one town. The other town is under 4,800 population. And they're doing 4 or 5 times as much as a normal mattress store. I mean, it's astronomical. And what do? Lots of financing, lots of bundling. They've got a good, better, best bundle, and they have all-in pricing on brands that they can do it with, where they're not strapped by a map, or so they have the ability to do all-in pricing, which has everything in it already, and a monthly payment plan already there on the price tag for the salesperson. So take it away, my friend.
Thank you so much, Pete. Dan, thank you for the question. So what has worked for me, and I've gotten a chance to present this method, and you always got to kind of make it your own, or each retailer has to make it their own, but I've had a chance from New York to Florida to the West Coast and everywhere between. It just works. And you have to make it your own. One, selling the sale. Somewhere at the beginning of the presentation, I'm going to let the customer, one, know I'm glad they're here, which I already talked about. Two, I'm going to let them know we have great financing. And I'm not going to spend 30 seconds on it. I'm going to spend 5 seconds on it and go, and it's going to sound like this. You came in a great time. Our 4th of July sale is one of the biggest sales of the year. Oh, and by the way, we have great financing. We have great financing from 6 months up to 4 or 5 years, whatever that term is. And we have a no credit check, just to let you know. Now, 99% of the customers, I promise you're going to say, we're not looking to finance. And go, totally understand. This is me saying, totally understand. I just want to let you know right now with our 4th of July, we have great financing. And that's it. Very beginning, I'm just going to mention it, plant the seed. I'm not going to oversell it. Once I do, it ruins it. It's kind of like, I think about this. I'm not very good at cooking, but I do know this. When you add pepper to an entree, if you lightly add pepper to an entree, it enhances it. But if you overuse it and too much pepper, it's going to ruin the meal. When it comes to financing, you want to lightly mention it because it'll enhance your presentation. It will enhance the customer's experience because they'll get a better bed with easy, affordable monthly payments. So you mentioned that at the beginning. The second place I would do is once they kind of find that mattress that they like, or if they find that adjustable mattress is a great time, especially if they go, well, how much is it? This is the second time I mentioned financing, very lightly. I'm going to say it depends. If you use your money, it's about $8,000. Now, if you take advantage of our financing we have right now with our 4th of July sale, great time to do that. It's about $125 a month. Whatever's easier for you, either way, you're going to get a great mattress. And that's it. Just lightly sprinkle it in. Now, they may say, we're fine. We'll use a credit card. Totally cool. Congratulations. You just sold a mattress. But if they say, and they're still looking, third time, I would again say, hey, just to let you know, everything here, the pillows, the mattress cover, everything that you have there is about $125 a month. It'd be the third time. And then sometimes, if you have really good rapport with the customer, I always like to let them know. And if you don't need 2 pillows, you can just get one and fight over who's going to get the better neck support. It'll save you only $3 a month. And person's like, only $3 a month for this amazing neck support? We'll take 3. Yes, 3, So it's breaking it down easy and affordable for the customer. And you only have to pick and choose about 4 or 5 mattresses on your store. Look for your most popular ones. And I would lean into that. And practicing power bases will complement that. Dan, did I answer that question for you?
How do you feel about showing average payment on the price tags?
I love it.
I love it. Makes it easy.
There's a team effort. Megan Anderson and myself did that 8 years ago, 9 years ago at a company that had quite a few stores, and attachment on power bases went through the roof. I highly believe adding the monthly payment to the price tag, it makes it easy. Look at cars. Cars always have a monthly payment on there.
All right. I have to unpack just two things really, really quickly. And then I don't want to get in the way of Brent's flow here. Oh, by the way, one of the best transitions ever. You have to incorporate that in your selling. Doesn't matter what you sell. Doesn't matter. Use it on your children when you're first getting started with it. It's one of the best transitions ever. And here's what's at the heart and the soul of the success at Happy Z's and what Brent's asking you to do. When you introduce financing early, you just took what might be a thin slice of the store that they could afford with their money. Now, with using monthly payments, the selection that they can choose from is expanded. Their world just got larger, and their ability to get a good night's sleep and to wake up happy and pain-free just dramatically increased just from that little bit of an effort. And it's 5 seconds the first time. 5 seconds, guys. Wow. This is so good.
And it makes sense too, because if you look at what we buy and how we buy things today, more times than not is about monthly payments. I can't think of anything besides tires and groceries that I pay full price up front. I mean, Netflix. How much is Netflix? I don't know, $12.99 a month. What's your gym membership? $59 a month. Like, this is true. So a couple of weeks ago, I went into LA Fitness and they had membership. Had like a discount of like 20% off, pay up front. It was like $700. And I was like, I'll pay full price for the $25, $35 a month versus paying $700 up front. Like, to me, it just didn't make any sense. I know there's probably a lot of people like absolutely makes sense to me. I can do the savings, but I'm like, I'll just pay that $25, $35, pay a little bit more. But here's what's crazy and what's cool about what we have in the mattress industry. Customers aren't paying more for monthly payments. A lot of times it's the same price and they can get exactly what they're looking for.
What do we got? Somebody's up to something. My producer, he's focusing us. What are you focusing us on? Bedhead does a lot, brother. They do a lot. You know, it's funny, Brent, not to get too far on a side note, but when I see certain images with certain manufacturers, and I know that the image wasn't that way like a month ago, but now it is, I'm like, hey, you guys got with Bedhead. You guys are getting with the program. Nice. Congrats. So just
love it.
Just a note.
Our team's so talented that do the graphics. They're amazing.
What you got on your notes there, buddy? What you got?
Well, this one right here, this one is not exciting. What I'm going to talk about, it's not fun, but I do believe if you're listening to this right now and you pause and grab a pen and paper, I believe from Friday to Monday, it'll make you a minimum of $200 extra. It's not going to be fun. It's actually probably going to be boring, but it'll make you $200 to listen for less than 1 minute. So you go listen for a minute, make $200. Is it worth it? Probably. Manage the small tasks in your store today, not Friday. And you know your store better than I do, but some of those small tasks that I would manage when I was at the store is, one, make sure I had plenty of bed frames and they were ready when a customer came in. My store is busy. I could easily take care of that customer, sell them a bed frame, get it loaded up, and not take away from other customers. If I had a floor model, make sure I had the bed bags underneath the box spring and the tape ready to go. So if someone comes and buys that floor model and they want to take it with them right then, it doesn't take away from other customers that are in the store that I'm running around looking for bed bag and tape. It's all right there. Receipt paper. A lot of retailers have certain, reasons to buy on the back of the receipt paper, and I would highlight the 90-day or 100-day or whatever your comfort trial is and your delivery. Some of those key things you go over with the customer, I would highlight them so you can have the customer look through them, highlight those key things that they need to know after they purchase their mattress. Directions to the warehouse or the nearest store. If you have a store or warehouse that's close to you and you utilize their back room or storage to pick up a mattress, have directions already printed so you don't have to say, well, it's on this street, it's right by here. Already have that written down. For loadouts on mattresses, extra rope. I would already cut up the 4 foot and put it in a knot so the customer, you can give that rope right there. Again, these small things that the customer's already bought or they're looking to buy that doesn't take you away from the rest of the customers in the store will benefit you. I guarantee more times than not, me not being prepared for that has cost me sales because I got caught up doing these small things, and a customer's looking at a Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress and I didn't get a chance to spend enough time with them and they ended up leaving. Take care of those small tasks. Print inventory. Again, know what's in stock every day, in the morning, in the afternoon. Print inventory, especially on your most popular models. Pete, am I missing something there? And let's go to the chat. There has to be other things, but those small things, again, not exciting, but they're so important. It's those little things.
Know your inventory is incredibly huge. When you have a customer with a narrow delivery requirement that you qualify out early, it is incredibly important. Hey, Trevor, great tip, says Trevor. I'm glad you're here, Trevor. Thank you. Tim McDonald saying preach. You know, you're right. It's not sexy to do these little things. I hope that this warehouse direction thing is not new for anybody, but reload, make sure that you got enough. And I can testify to what Brent just said. These little things can add up to making or missing a sale. When you get hammered on a really busy day, it's incredible. And now this know your inventory. This is something you should do every day. Every day. If you're a professional salesperson, you need to know your inventory every day. You just have to. It's absolutely mandatory. You don't deserve to even be allowed to go onto the floor unless you know your inventory. It's something that I started doing a year into my sales career. I could not be at the mercy of not knowing what I had when so many customers were in a hurry. And I can hear somebody out there saying, Pete, you don't know, my store's different. My customers are never in a hurry. Yeah, they are in a hurry sometimes, and you probably just walk them right out and you don't even think about it. I'm sorry, I'm being blunt, but this is the joy of being 64 years old and you don't give a crap anymore, Brent. Andy Anderson. I love you, Andy. Takes 5 minutes before I open. 100%. These are not things that take lots and lots of time. And if they do, get in there a little earlier. Yep.
Here's the last one that add to that.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be busy. We know we're going to be busy. And it seems like it all happens at once. And then all of a sudden, you have that first customer purchase, then second, third, and you're like you're just sitting at the desk writing up tickets is one of the best things about working the retail store on a holiday weekend. Double check. I'm going to say this again. Double check address, phone number, and what is on the ticket. And there's a lot of things, Pete, that I forgot that I should have not forgotten in my life. But there's one when it comes to this, I will always remember. It was in 2001. Yep, August, right a couple days before Labor Day. For y'all that have been in the business for a while, I sold my first Golden Elegance Stearns & Foster. I think it was $5,400 at the time. And Brent got the wrong address and phone number on the ticket. And the warehouse called because it was a big deal. And it was my first summer selling mattresses. and the warehouse called and they go, hey, we can't deliver this mattress because one, the address isn't correct. And then we try to call the customer and we can't get a hold of them on their phone number. And the reason that's important because it was towards the end of the night. I had to go home knowing the customer was going to probably stay up until 9, 10 o'clock waiting for their mattress that never showed. And I knew they were going to come to the store first thing in the morning. Did they? Yes. It was like right when I pulled in, 9:30, they were right there and our mattress didn't show up, Brent. And I was like, I am so sorry. Like, I think from then on, I probably had like a 99.9% perfect of looking up their phone number and receipt. So it's a small thing, but it's important. Plus, it completes the customer's experience being positive.
Trevor says 2 points of contact every customer. If they don't answer the phone, follow up with email, write down the date, time, and time of missed call. Yeah, you can't be too thorough. That's great, Trevor. Thanks for sharing that. Chris Tahaney, what's up, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
Glad you're here, brother. I was hoping you'd be on here. Great stuff. I remember supporting a store during a big holiday weekend sale. None of the adjustable bases along a particular wall were working because of a circuit breaker. Add that to the list. Add it to the list. Talk to the customers to figure that out, and it made those presentations awkward. What's up, Brent?
What's going on, Chris? Chris, that is a great point. I thought about it yesterday, totally forgot. Thank you so much for being on the call. Another thing that if you're it's a team sport, a district manager, vice president, a trainer, a rep, today and tomorrow, go buy batteries. Go buy a case of batteries and expense it. I promise you, the $50 you expense is going to pay back 5-10x of the $8,000 mattress you sold, because I've never been to a store, and it's a bold statement, where at least one remote did not have working batteries or was plugged in. Never happened. I take care of our sales associates, go in, check remotes, and you'll find one or two, promise you. And they're like, oh, it hasn't been working for a while. Well, guess what? I have batteries, and you become the hero of the day. Right now, if you hear this message, go buy batteries.
I love this. Dan White, all great insights and reminders. The more I watch and I learn from Brent Batterman, the more I see why he has the great reputation and success that he does in the industry. Great conversation, gentlemen. I will shut up now. No, don't shut up. Just keep going.
No.
Keep going. Trevor says, I created a stapled piece of cloth to attach to the customer's invoice, set in the proper expectation on arrival of mattress to us, from the manufacturers to us, then us to them. We tell them face to face, but customers can easily forget it. Can't be too thorough, Trevor. I'm 100% with you.
All good stuff.
So,
Dan mentioned, he's helping with financing stuff. Like, I love, and the reaction that I've seen from sales trainers that are like, maybe not in the mattress industry, but in the financing or frames that have batteries and come in and take care of that store. They're like, oh, they're taking care of me. It's not even their product. That goes such a long way to build trust. I think it's huge.
Yep. So, one of the things that I get some blowback on is, Pete, did you really make your salespeople go out on the truck before you put them on the sales floor? Yep, I did. 1 to 2 days. You know why? Because they understood how important getting the right name and address and phone number was on that ticket, and whether there was a bed frame on that ticket, an adjustable bed on the ticket, protector sheets, all these things. And, listen, we don't have handwritten tickets anymore like we did when I was selling, like when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, but you can still get wrong information on any system. So double check it. And I'm going to share with you guys a little something that some of you are going to go, it's not that important. When you repeat back the information to the person, I just want to make sure I have your name right. Hey, I just want to make sure I have your address right. Is this the right? And is this phone number, do I have that right? What are you saying to them? You're saying you're important to me. I'm going to make sure I get this right because you're important. So the things that you say and do, the little extra things that you say and do make a difference. They may not even know why they feel so good about buying from you, but that will go a long way into making them feel like they're in the hands of a sales pro who cares about them. Sorry.
Agreed. No, I love it. Speaking of being a mattress pro, I also believe questions are our best friends. Not just questions, but open-ended questions. And there's a couple things that we can talk about and on this topic. We talk about practicing in prep work. Like, what are your 3 or 4 best questions that you have that are open-ended? And when I think of open-ended questions, really get the information to help the customer find the right mattress. They have to be a part of that journey. We know this. But what are those questions? Now, what I would do, I said as a team sport, is write your 3 or 4 questions down and then call a couple of your friends in the business, some of the people work at a different store, and find out their 3 or 4 best questions and add them to your list. You don't need to have 20 great questions, but if you had those and you practice them, great open questions is the key to the conversation to get buy-in from the customer that they're the right place and you're here to take care of them. I still a huge fan taking notes, listening to the customer, taking notes, what they say, especially writing their name down. The best way to make a friend before you make a sale, name exchange, username, and utilize that. But by pausing, because you're going to be busy and this is going to be hard. I would struggle with this. 4 or 5 customers in the store. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're busy. You're trying to help everybody. People are buying a mattress. Energy's up. But don't forget to pause and connect with that customer, even if it's just for a couple moments. And they get it that you're busy. But take time to pause and truly listen to what they're asking for and what they're needing so you can give them a great sleep solution. Don't get too far ahead because I do that because once in a while I'm asking questions. I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask this, going to say this. And I'm already down the road and they're still here thinking about the first question I asked. And I've already moved on and I'm not listening. I'm missing valuable information and I'm truly not taking care of them. So it's hard, especially when it's busy, but pause and listen to the customer.
Slow down to speed up. It's a chapter in the book. Slow down to speed up. It's super important. Jeff Janakovo. Jeff, man, we've got royalty in here today. This is great. Fundamentally, when it comes to preparation, ask yourself how many practice swings and pitches of bat in practice have you taken? Never, ever practice on paying customers. They deserve the best show. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. And thank you for sharing the show. Really appreciate that, buddy. Brent and Pete have been thinking there must be a way to modernize the warehouse directions / expectation setting / post-sales follow-up using QR codes or some other way of communicating that is cell phone friendly.
Yep.
Have you seen any system that addresses the post-sale part of the transaction in a mobile friendly way? There's one thing I want to add before Brent goes tearing through this. That's a bad assumption that everybody has a smartphone. I know almost everybody does, but what if one of your customers that bought an $18,000 ticket just as one of those dinosaurs? But I agree. Using QR codes and something that is cell phone friendly, smartphone friendly is huge. Brent, I'm going to let you have a run at that.
I think it's a great
question.
Great call out, great mention. It wasn't even on my radar. And that's what I love about being on this show and getting a chance to talk with so many amazing people because everyone brings great ideas. And I'm so going to steal that and bring that to Ferguson and be like, I got an idea. Obviously, I'll give credit where credit is due. But that's a great, super good idea. Love that.
Whoa, Scott Vaughn, your ears burning? I talk to dealers every day and get their best practices, the questions they ask, how they merchandise, clothes, etc. Great point by Brent.
Thank you, Scott. So many amazing individuals are on this. I appreciate y'all.
This is amazing. You brought everybody out of the woodwork today.
I don't know about that.
Thank you. I have to have you on the show more often.
I will be on the show anytime you offer. It's a great honor to be on the show. This is interesting. I don't know if this has to deal with 4th of July as much, but I think our everyday business. But I was at church. It happened a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not going to preach or anything here, but they had a message, and it was just interesting because it really applied to what I do as a consultant. And I'm going to share that message with it. It's going to be lighthearted on this, but it just stuck with me, and it's still something I chew on and I think about. And I want this group to kind of weigh in on it a little bit. But it was there's data that shows, and it was talking about the medical field, and the preacher started out saying, we are so blessed. We are in the most modernized, highly advanced technical information, if you will, when it comes to health and what they're able to do and help people and all those things. They were talking about that. And they said, but what's interesting, the data shows with all the advancement that we have with technology and everything out there, what it still comes down to is the doctor truly listening to the patient. Because if they pause and truly listen, I don't know the number. I forgot the number. I didn't plan on speaking to this, but they're more likely to give a better solution for what's causing them to be in the hospital or the doctor's office. And the patient feels more heard and more likely to buy in what the doctor's saying. Think about that. Of all the technology out there, it still comes down to, are we being heard? Are they listening to our needs? And if you think about that and apply that to today, tomorrow, 4th of July, every day going forward, you go, you know what? The one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a great attitude. I'm going to have tons of energy, but I'm going to truly listen to that customer, take notes, and not interrupt them. And when I truly hear them, I'm going to give them a recommendation on what will help them sleep better. Could you imagine what that would do for our industry if today, every person, every time, every day did that for the next 90 days? What that would do for our industry?
Change it fundamentally. Tara Day, thank you, Tara, for being here. As humans, we all have the need to be seen and heard.
So true.
Acknowledged and really listened to. Because when you really listen to somebody and you give them feedback, you're saying you matter. And you know what? That's missing in today's world. And whether you make a sale or you don't make a sale, if you just do that, you are using your position as a sales pro to benefit humanity. And chances are you're going to make the sale too. Trevor, when delivering to apartments, print a satellite picture. This is so good. Print a satellite picture of the apartment complex and highlight the specific apartment for your delivery drivers. The RSA will build this map with the customer at the end of the sale after money has been received. Apartments are confusing. They certainly can be, Trevor. Thank you.
Absolutely. Great insight. So stealing that.
Your stuff's being stolen, people.
Brent, they go, Brent, you have such good ideas. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I do. And I get them from the Pete show, you know? It's interesting too. I know we're coming on to the hour. I wanted to share this as well. Instant coaching, I'm a big fan. And I think there's different degrees and different amount of time that you can spend when it is a holiday and when it's not a holiday. And I've seen, nobody on this call, nobody you know, but I've seen where there's been maybe a sales rep, a district manager, a vice president, being in a store and a customer walks in and they say, hey, take care of this customer. Good luck. I'm going to go make a phone call, or I got to go to the next store. I'm going to step out for a moment. And I get it. I understand. I'm on your side. I've done this before. But what we get a chance to do is take care of people, both customers and internal. And I would say never give up on the opportunity to coach after the up. And I know, again, it's busy, it's 4th of July, and maybe that's not the time. But if you have a pen and paper and they're taking care of a customer, write down a couple things they did well and maybe an opportunity or something that they would change. Don't walk past bad presentation. You owe it to them to give them great feedback. If it wasn't for coaches and mentors that coached me and helped me out, I would not be where I'm at today. If they just let me present, I would have probably been the lowest salesperson on the floor. But they cared. They took the time to listen and to give me feedback. And again, I think it is so important. And write those things down. And a lot of times they're going to say, you know, if you, hey, I'll pause there. Let's just take this out of our industry for a minute and see how crazy it is. I'm going to use football because Pete likes football. Imagine if the offense was on the field and they ended up punting, giving the ball back, and they were off the field on the sidelines. Could you imagine if the offensive coordinator came to the offensive huddle after the offense just got off the field and said, hey, I got to go grab a Coke and some popcorn, and I got to make a quick call. I'll be back in the 4th quarter, and we'll connect then. See you. Like, you'd be like, are you kidding me? That's the worst coach ever. Why would they ever do that? So if you take that same mindset, we know it's important. You're in the moment. It's the 4th biggest holiday. Again, pick and choose your timing. But I would say, hey, great job taking care of that customer. And I wouldn't be hovering. I would be out of the way so they wouldn't know. And I would write down 3 things they did well and 1 thing they have an opportunity to do or change. I know I said that. It's so important because when you say, hey, I saw you do a couple things, I'd love to share some feedback if you're okay with that. And if they say absolutely, go, here's the 3 things I thought you did well. And here's what's going to happen. This is so important. They're going to stop you and say, no. Tell me what I could do better. Do not do that. It's important to highlight what they're doing well so you can reinforce it and they can duplicate it. Duplicate great behaviors that are already happening. Not 1, not 2, 3 or 4. Focus on those so they duplicate them, especially the rest of the day. And then give that 1 or 2 things that they can improve. Then in your calendar on your fancy iPhone, 3, 4, 5 days later, call them back and check in, see how they did. They will be so grateful that you did that. Be like, hey, I was just calling in. How'd the rest of the day go for you? I know I gave you some feedback, some 3 things to focus on. How'd that work for you? Talk to me and just pause and let them tell you about their experience. I believe 99% of the time, they'll be so grateful, especially if your focus and your intent is helping them to become the best that they can be.
Scott Vaughn, I saw this in person. Debrief every up. Another great point. Brent is on a roll. That is the understatement of the year. He came in on fire and he's more fired up now than he was at the beginning. Anthony says, first time listening live to the Pete Primeau show. Tremendously beneficial investment of time. Fantastic content. Thank you, Brent and Pete. Thank you, Anthony, for being here. I'm glad that you're here. Brent, I just have one thing to say really, really quick. I was really blessed in my career. There was one day of the week that nobody wanted to work at my little furniture store, and it was Wednesday. So me and the owner, Craig, worked, and he said, Pete, if I ever see that I think you're losing a sale, I am going to jump in and I'm going to write that sale up. But I want you to know one thing. If that ever happens, you will learn what I just did and it'll never happen to you again. And the other thing is, I never take money out of my salespeople's pockets ever. So you'll get 100% commission on that sale. And I just want you to know that I'm here to help you be the best that you can be. And it happened a couple of times, but he told me it was going to happen ahead of time. He also told me he was never reaching into my pocket. And that helped me get better so much faster because his style and my style were completely different, which I think helps salespeople grow, right? You have to have salespeople of different styles working together for them to maximize their potential. Brent,
can I say one thing here?
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
So this comes from the heart. So thank you all so much for being on the call. It means a lot to me. You know, so this weekend I wrote this. I ran into this on my desk and I talked about it. My wife made this for me, and it's a booklet of all of the affirmations that I got from mentors and coaches through my year. And she gave that to me for my birthday last year. And I thought it was such a cool thing that she went in and found out her favorite affirmations that people said about me and put them on a book. I say that because, man, if it's a team sport, and there's going to be good days and there's going to be slow days and there's going to be tough days. There's going to be times where we start out negative. It just is what it is. But lean into your team. And I ask these questions like affirmations and giving people shout outs is such great way to add fuel to the fire of going into the fourth biggest holiday. And if there's somebody on your team, give them a shout out. I love when we give shout outs in the morning, when we give shout outs at the night. Now, sometimes during the day is a little bit tough, but make sure you're constantly encouraging your team because you don't know where they're at. You just don't. Personally, professionally, and I'm telling you, the cultures, the teams that lean into affirmations, give shout outs, win. They win at retail and they win at life. And if you really want to push yourself today, you really say, you know what, Brent, I joined this call. I want something big. I want to make this worth my time. I say, ask yourself these 3 questions right now. Ask yourself, who is overdue for a thank you in my life? Who's been grinding and might not feel seen? Who needs to know they matter to me? Answer those questions. And then what I would do is go out and give them a note. Send them a note of encouragement. It wins, it wins, it wins. And it's more than just selling mattresses. It's winning in life. I believe that 100%.
Brent, I love you, dude. You are the best. I love the passion. We need more of this in our industry. And everybody that joined, Dan White, Jeff Chinakovo, Scott Vaughn, Justin Trumbo, Tim McDonald, Chris Tahaney, Anthony Klatt, Trevor Boyner, and Tara Day, thank you so much for being part. Anyone that wants to get a hold of you, how do they do it? How do they get a hold of you?
Well, here's something that I want to do this. I would love to be able to. I used to do this at Mattress Firm. I don't be able to do it this quick of a turnaround. But if you have a Saturday sales experience, a meeting of any kind, if you have a meeting at a manufacturer, anything, and you ever want, what do they call them, a kickoff call? I would love to do that. Now, how you can get a hold of me, go to LinkedIn, Brent Batterman, go to LinkedIn, Bedhead Marketing, send a note, and I will do my best to respond within 24 hours. And if there's anything I can ever do for y'all, call, reach out. That is all I care about, is helping and paying it forward.
Well, I don't know that we're ever going to have another show with this much energy and passion, but thank you, Brent. You brought it today. It was amazing. And thank you for being a friend. And you don't know this, but you're as much a mentor to me as I am to you. I love when we just tell our stories and we have our hour to 2 hour long phone conversation
at like 10 o'clock at night, and we both love it. It's like so good.
Everyone's trying to figure out, when the heck do you sleep, Pete?
Never.
They're on the phone with me too. So guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And my great producer, Chris Stone, anyone that needs a podcast producer, Chris Stone is the man. I'm trying to give you a free commercial, Chris, so you don't charge me overtime for
Oh,
running 5 minutes.
send me the bill, Chris. I'm sorry. It's my fault.
It's not your fault. I loved everything we did today. Thank you so much, everybody. Sell a million.